Start game now. Gizmo Duck is back, and he's brought with him a hawk. That's right, the duck has brought a hawk in the form of Seahawk for your Atari 2600, brought to us by that wonderful company, Froggo Games, with box art that is both awesome and looks very generic, sort of like the old generic boxes you'd see at the grocery stores for generic food. Yeah, lots of white in this box here, and just a single screenshot. Not too much, but I still dig the kind of silhouette that they got going on there. But let's go ahead and take Seahawk and fly it into my Atari 7800 Pro system, because it works in the 2600 and 7800, and let's see how it holds up. Let's go to the game. Seahawk was published by Froggo and has a copyright date of 1987, and it's basically a copy of Panda's version of Seahawk from 1983. Yeah, Froggo for the 2600 basically took other games and just repackaged them for their own purposes. It is a defender-style shooter for one player. Now, with a name like Seahawk, it reminds me a lot of the TV show Airwolf, and I totally dig that. I even wonder if Airwolf may have got some inspiration for their name from the original Seahawk. In Seahawk, you are in control of a red jet fighter under attack by black enemy helicopters and warships. If you press the button by itself, you will launch a torpedo towards the sea that can destroy both helicopters and warships if they get in its way. If you are pressing left or right on the joystick when you fire, you will shoot your machine gun straight ahead, and this can only destroy helicopters. You are given 8 lives when you start the game. Now, I'm always wary of games that give you lots of lives at the beginning, because this tells me that there's probably some bad programming ahead that's going to cost you many of those extra lives. Occasionally, you will see a friendly red warship on the seas below. Now, you want to be careful because you can actually destroy your own ship, losing points. However, when you are destroyed, your little guy will parachute out of his fighter plane. If he lands on your own friendly warship, you will actually not lose a life and get to take off again. And I think that's a pretty neat inclusion. Now, one frustrating thing that can happen is when a warship leaves the screen and comes right back on, so like let's say go to the right real quickly and then back to left right where the ship was, it can change colors. So a friendly ship can turn into an enemy ship and vice versa. And if your parachute guy either lands in the sea or on a black ship, either way, you will lose a life. So I guess your enemy has no mercy. The game allows you to select from 3 lengths of torpedoes using your select switch on the system. You can either have long, medium, or short torpedoes. That's the only selections you can have. However, the levels can increase if you're good enough. On the very beginning of the game, you will receive 100 points for every helicopter you destroy and 500 points for every warship you destroy. You will also lose 500 points if you destroy one of your own ships. However, when you score 10,000 points, you will advance to level 2. Now you must fight 2 helicopters rather than 1 at the same time. You will receive 200 points for every helicopter you destroy and 1,000 points for every ship you destroy, but you will also lose 1,000 points if you destroy your own ship. Once you hit 30,000 points, you will advance to the final level, where you will have to face 3 helicopters at the same time, but now you'll receive 300 points for every helicopter and 1,500 points for every enemy ship you destroy, but you will lose 1,500 points if you destroy your own ships. And of course, this can be frustrating when you shoot at the enemy ship, go off screen, come back, and end up hitting your own, which can happen. However, I found this game very difficult, and I was not able to advance any levels at all. So there you go. It's pretty tough, especially control-wise. Graphically speaking, I think it looks okay. I think it looks nice. You can tell what everything is on the screen. There isn't really a lot on the screen. They could have used more of the real estate, but for what it is, I think it's okay. And you have standard Atari 2600 sounds that some might find irritating, but this is a family-friendly game. This game is a little bit scarce. On eBay, loose copies generally go for about $5 to $9 loose. Complete copies go for about $9, and new copies are going for about $13 to $18, and as always, that includes your shipping. So would I recommend Seahawk? Well, I like the name, and I kind of like the box as well, but I really didn't like the way the game controls. And it's a shame because there's actually promise of a decent game here if they would have fixed the controls. It just becomes way too hard transitioning from shooting straight ahead to firing your torpedoes, because that also alters the direction of your ship as you fly across the screen. I really wish that they would just stuck with straight ahead shooting, kind of like Chopper Command, and allowed you to shoot the ships at the bottom with your straight ahead shot. I think that would have made the the game a lot more enjoyable. This game really begs for a second button for the torpedoes, but oh well, it ends up being quite an exercise in frustration, so overall, unless you're a serious collector, I'm going to say pass. So where am I going to rank Seahawk? Well, it's going to be towards the bottom with a bunch of games I probably wouldn't recommend to anyone. So let's see. At 26, I have Skyjinx, another flying game, and I enjoyed this more than Skyjinx because this game has action. And I enjoyed it more than Space Jockey as well because Space Jockey just didn't seem to go anywhere. And I also enjoyed it a little bit more than Title Match Pro Wrestling. So I think I'm going to put it right above Title Match Pro Wrestling at the 24 spot. So there you go. Seahawk, it's an interesting game, but it's not one that's really that fun to play. So you can pass unless you're a serious collector. Thank you guys for giving me a little part of your day. Don't forget to follow me on the Facebook and the Twitter and hit the like and subscribe buttons as well. I'd really appreciate that. Thanks again, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the next episode of The No Swear Gamer. Take care.